All right, what's up, guys? As you know, we have a Fortnite live event, like fast approaching next weekend. I'm pretty sure. That'll take us into the Simpsons season. But this is not just a regular event. It is a full-on story end of chapter event. So it's an end of chapter event. They're acknowledging that the chapter is ending, right? Thank God. And it's a full-on storyline event. So there shouldn't be any collabs in it. There shouldn't be any collab relation to the event. It's just full-on storyline. And this is where it starts to get kind of crazy. And this is where, you know, the purpose of this video comes into play. The storyline, well and truly, be back in full motion with this event, because we're going to be getting UFOs in the event. For those of you who don't know, UFOs are tied to the main villain of Fortnite storyline, The Last Reality. When you last saw that, no pun intended, in Chapter 2, the end event for Chapter 2, all the UFOs were around. So they're going to be back in the event. The Tentacle is going to be back for some reason. We know that in this event, we are going to be fighting whatever the Dark Presence is. So basically like the spirit realm. The Tentacle is a part of that. So that does make sense that it will return. Also, if it's a tentacle, there's probably multiple. So that makes sense that one would come back. But yeah, UFOs, Tentacle, and this is the big one. The Rift gun that Jonesy would always use in Season 5 of Chapter 2 and Season 6 will somehow come back. So it looks like he might just use this again. And, you know, I think when the storyline was peaking was when he had that back in Chapter 2, going into Chapter 3, right? So the fact that he's going to be using this again is very, very interesting. And this is also imagined order technology. If you guys don't remember, in Chapter 2, the IO, and in Chapter 3, they gave him this to go around and find all those hunters or the collabs. So that coming back is also really, really crazy. And then also, HypeX tweeted this on the day of the update where all the event files were getting leaked. This GIF of, you know, this is Season 6, right? But this is clearly teasing that something huge is like coming over the players. Clearly. And then this guy says, what do you mean by this? And he says, what lore fans have been waiting for. You guys might not know, but I am like, I used to be a huge follower of the Fortnite lore. I could tell you it from start to finish, at least Donald Mustard's Fortnite lore, like nonstop. Like I could tell you that from start to finish all day. So that means a lot to me, bro. That means a lot to me. Little 16-year-old, 15-year-old me would love to hear that the Fortnite storyline is like coming back and then the lore is going to be implemented. So that is pretty freaking huge. And they're literally preparing the event right now. They are preparing to put the countdown in and everything. I'm assuming it's going to be next weekend. We will be attending the event on like the far top left corner of the map. Interesting spot for it, but yeah, it's going to be full storyline. UFOs are going to be back. That could point to, you know, the main villain coming back, right? The Rift portal guns coming back. That could really point to Jonesy doing what we used to see him do in the events. And obviously, you guys know, if the main villain or the Last Reality is back in Fortnite, the 7 have to be involved. Those were like the two heroes and villains. That and the Imagined Order, the IO. So if, you know, you have the main villains coming back, right? You got to have the 7, right? They're the main protagonists, or at least they were, before they just mysteriously never got used again. But yeah, the Fortnite storyline could really and truly come back with this live event. And this is the biggest chance that it has at doing so. This is the most evidence that we've had for like the old story lore coming back since Chapter 6, Season 3, the superhero season. So I am immediately insanely more hyped for this than I was a week or two ago. That's good. Fortnite's doing something good with that. People probably already know what's going down in this event, but they won't leak it. Yeah, I'm suddenly super hyped, bro. I would love if we got back on track with the old story where we left off in Chapter 3. I would love it. I would love it more than anything. Let me know if you guys feel the same way. And let me know if you guys are now hyped for this live event, now that we know that the storyline could basically be making a return, and they might finally start to tie it all back in together. Yeah, I'm ready. I'll see y'all there. See y'all in the next one.